Hey everybody, this is Ken coming at you today from Fort Hickory. I'm just getting back from a run and I thought this would be the perfect time to do my EDC Layer 1 video. Now, if you've already watched my EDC philosophy video, you will remember that Layer 1 of my EDC is my body and my mind. Now, I'm going to break this video up into two halves, body and mind. Now, for the body half, I originally was going to take you guys through my whole workout regimen, but I'm not a fitness expert, and I don't even think you guys want to see that. If you do want to see that, let me know, and I'm happy to do a video on what I do to keep fit. But real quick, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what I do to keep myself fit on an everyday basis. So most days I do a push-up regimen. I do love to use the perfect push-up whenever I can. On some days, I do a routine with weights. I use dumbbells. I don't own a bar. I also oftentimes do a pretty intense workout with this. This is not a basketball. It was a basketball. It's now a DIY medicine ball I made myself. It's about 25 pounds. That's how heavy that sucker is. I also do, let's come over here underneath the Fort Hickory hammock. I also have these rigged up into the tree, these two bars here, to do pull-ups in the tree. It's very similar to the perfect pull-up machine that you can buy in stores, but a lot cheaper. I rigged those up. I also have a contraption I use that I can't show right now that I used to do dips. It's like these, but much longer, so it's like doing dips, but almost on gymnastics rings. And in addition to that, there's my trusty old slack line here in the tree. I love that. Jump on the slack line whenever I can. And also just having an active lifestyle. Like I said, I've got the slack line. I jump on that all the time. I love to play sports. I love basketball. I'm on a seasonal canoe team. I also ride my bicycle almost everywhere. I ride my bike to work, to and from work every day, to the grocery store whenever I go. It's a rarity anymore that I jump in my car. But what I really want to talk about today is not what I do to stay in shape. It's why I stay in shape. Now, up until about 5 years ago, I was just like every other American. I ate fast food almost every meal and never exercised, sat on the couch. But it was when I started thinking about preparedness is when I started taking care of myself. Not for me, but for the people that I care about. I stay in shape because I want to know that if the stuff hits the fan, I'm going to be able to put my girlfriend on my back and carry her over a mountain to get her to the hospital if I need to. I need to know I can carry heavy things for a long distance. Not for me, but for the people I want to take care of. So if you're out there and you're out of shape, there's nothing wrong with being out of shape. You can do what you want. But if you're a prepper, you got to seriously evaluate, if you're out of shape, are you really prepared? Now, the other thing I want to talk about in the body section of this video is something I call body hardness. Now, this isn't your strength or your endurance, but it's your body's physical ability to endure the elements. Something I started a couple years back when I got interested in preparedness was I started, whenever I'd have a couple days off, I would train myself to eat very little. I wouldn't starve myself, I didn't fast, but I would just take in minimal amounts of food and learn how my body would handle that and train my body to be able to handle that well. Another thing I would do is I would train my body to endure temperatures, both hot and cold, that would have otherwise been very uncomfortable for me. Not deadly, but I've gotten myself used to being able to go out in the cold without a jacket when everybody else is shivering and go out in the hot sun for long periods of time and still be able to hike and hike and hike without having to stop because of exhaustion from the sun. The other thing I started doing a while back was hardening my feet. Now, I got this idea not from Cody Lundin, although I love Cody. I got this idea when I first read the novel Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. Now, those of you who know that book are saying, Ken, I don't think that's a survival manual. I believe that is a Pulitzer Prize winning novel about Eastern religious philosophy, and that is true. But what I got from that novel is when I read it, there's a point when the main character, for religious reasons, decides to become an ascetic and goes out into the woods just wearing very simple robes, no shoes, very little food, and for years meditates and meditates and meditates. And really trains his body to become hard against the elements. Now later, when he comes back to civilization and he's trying to get, I guess you'd say he's trying to get a job, when he goes into the first man who's about to give him employment, the guy says, well, what happens to you if I don't give you this job? And Siddhartha says, I kind of don't care if you give me the job. I don't need food today. I don't need to sleep in a bed. I don't need shoes on my feet. I can go sleep under a tree and be just fine and wait for the next opportunity to come up. And I said, that is preparedness. So that book sort of inspired me in a lot of ways to become prepared, and one of those ways was hardening my feet. So let me show you guys my feet. So here's my feet, guys. They look like just regular old feet, right? I'm sorry if I gross anybody out. That's not my intention. But I want to show you the bottoms of my feet since I've started doing this foot hardening thing. I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but well, let's see if you can hear this. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but this part of my foot is calloused almost rock hard, and along the side and my whole heel pad, all of this is very hard, and I can take this. I mean, they're not that hard yet, but they're getting to the point where they're almost like trail runners. I can take these on just about any surface and feel confident that I'm not going to get too hurt. They're not going to get burned. I've been through the hurt and I've been through the burn. I put in those miles, and now I'm left with some really durable feet that I feel like can take me through just about any situation I'm going to need to. That's my girlfriend's least favorite part about my preparedness. She hates my feet being rough like that. Whenever we're snuggling on the couch and I try to put my feet on her, she freaks out. She hates it. But I like it. I think it's useful. So that's some of the things that I do to keep my body prepared for any situation that I might be in. And since my body is always with me, that's the first layer of my EDC. Sorry if the camera's shaking a little bit. I'm actually sitting balanced on my slackline right now. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, that's part one of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part two, the mind. This is Ken from Fort Hickory. Adios.